Hey there, I'm Amy.Connell. Welcome to Graced Health, the podcast for women who want simple and grace-filled ways to take care of themselves and enjoy a little chocolate. I'm a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach who wants you to know your eating, movement, and body don't have to be perfect. You just need to be able to do what you're called to do. Today, I am offering up a bonus episode. I know this month, in the entire month of January 2022, I'm just doing things a bit differently. I am doing solo episodes for the most part, and we'll get back into the swing of things in February. Typically, on these second episodes of the week, I have Ask the Trainers. But today, I wanted to introduce to you my friend, Marni. Marni and I have been friends since our freshman year at Oklahoma State together. So we have been friends longer than we have not been friends. And I traveled to Phoenix at the beginning of the month, actually, technically at the end of last year. I actually flew out on New Year's Eve. It was the first time since dating my husband that I have been away from him on New Year's Eve. But when he texted me at 10:30 and said he was going to bed, I didn't feel terrible that I was gone. But I flew out there New Year's Eve so we could go watch Oklahoma State in the Fiesta Bowl, which was a super fun game. Even though I'm not like a huge football nut, it was a fantastic and fun game to go to. We did that with our friend Barbara, who we also knew from college. And you met Barbara about 2 years ago on the Revelation Partner episode. So I will link that in the show notes. But basically, we call her Bob. So Bob and I were both kind of just trying to be aware of some of the things that we were eating and how we were moving. And we just did an entire episode on like what that meant and how it was fun to have someone just land our awareness on, if that makes sense. But after the game, Bob and her husband went on, and Marni and I took off to about an hour away from her house, and we went camping. Now, I'm not a camper, and we talk about this some. And I was excited about the day, and I was a little nervous at night. And Marni is an expert camper. She has been camping since really all of her adult life. And I just thought there's nobody else I would like to walk me through and lead me through camping than Marni. So while we were sitting around the campfire, and you will hear the wood popping in the background, and you will hear that we are outside, and the audio quality is not as great as it normally is when we're inside, but you will hear that. And I just hope that you can immerse yourself into that time. It was dark. We had our headlights on. We were waiting for our dinner to heat up. And I just said, hey, let's talk some about camping. And I want to introduce you to people. So she is a dear friend of mine, and I know that you will enjoy her as well. So let's bring Marni on in our camping adventure. Okay, Marni, we are here at McDowell Mountain Regional Park.
Yes, we are.
And I forgot the name of it, but my location services on my voice memos are telling me that this is where we are.
This is where we are.
I've had fun.
I'm glad.
Thank you for taking me camping.
You're welcome. Thank you for being up for the challenge.
Well, okay. Can I be honest?
Sure.
Like, I was super excited about the daytime activities, which will not surprise you. Like,
yeah.
You know that I like to hike and bike and be outside, but I kind of want to check into a Marriott at the end of the day. And I was really nervous about the cold.
Yeah.
But you know your stuff.
Thanks.
So,
it's cold out here.
It is cold. What's the temperature?
I don't know. What was it last night? Like 39?
I think it got down to 37 last night. That's what it was when we woke up at 7 a.m. and the sun had just come up.
Mm-hmm.
And
but we were wrapped up like warm, freshly cooked burritos.
Yes. which is what my son said that we looked like.
Yeah.
Warm, freshly cooked burritos. I'm not sure well, I don't know, but
it's
I guess
better than a frozen burrito.
It's better than we're not frostbit.
No.
And we did not have like little specks of ice around on our eyelashes or anything. So that was good. No, that was a really surprising element for me. Like, I really did think I would be kind of cold sleeping. And you have the gear and you told me this was a surprise. So you said you have to trust the sleeping bag.
Yeah.
And we got in there with t-shirts, and you wore shorts. I forgot to put my shorts on, and that was it.
Yeah.
And a sleeping bag, and then the little sheet thing that went in there. What's it called?
We call it a sleep sack.
Okay.
But we also had stocking caps.
Yes.
And we had our little heaters.
Yes.
Our little hand warmers.
That seemed to float all around the sleep sack.
I kept my hand warmer, one of them between my feet, and one of them like on my torso all night.
I like the one on my feet. I might put both of them on my feet tonight.
Yeah. But I think that was also key to keeping us warm.
Yeah, that did help. That did help.
But we slept until 8, right? Or 7:30?
I think I woke up right after 7, and then I read a little bit.
That's about sunrise.
Yeah.
But that's pretty good for being super duper cold, to be able to sleep until whatever time it was and not just be up all night freezing to death.
Yeah, I didn't even get up and pee.
I didn't either, which I usually do.
Was another pleasant surprise, especially considering how cold it was.
Yeah, and then you walk outside with your t-shirt and tiny shorts on to go use the bathroom in the middle of the desert, not knowing what's behind those bushes.
Okay, now I really don't want to have it happen tonight. Because we still have another night under us.
We do.
But we're sitting here by the cackling fire.
Cackling?
Is that what
I think you're cackling.
Crackling fire. And there's an owl in the background, which the mic is probably not picking up. And then there was like a pack of coyotes howling. And I'm feeling very close to the earth. It's kind of cool.
You're touching it as we speak.
I am.
But yes.
I am. Okay, so you've been camping really since you met your now husband.
Yes.
What is one of the things that you really enjoy about camping? Like, what keeps driving you to packing up? Because it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. And it'll be a lot of work tomorrow to do all the laundry and wash all the dishes and put everything back in the bins and put away and all the things. It'll take me probably 5 or 6 hours to clean everything up.
That's a lot of work for 2 days.
It is, but it's worth it because, to answer your question, even though we're not off the grid here, like we still have cell service and we can call our people and look at social media and all that, my laundry isn't here.
Yeah.
And the dog hair on the floor in the hall, along the baseboards. And there are not dishes in the sink. And my closet, which needs to be tidied up, isn't here. And so it's a forceful way to disconnect from all of the stuff that would be all in my head if I were trying to just sit down at home.
Yeah. So it gets you out, a forceful rest.
Yeah. Because if I were home sitting here hanging out with you, I would be like, oh, I could totally be folding laundry while we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
But I can't fold laundry here.
I can't fold laundry here either.
No.
And I will definitely have some smoke-filled laundry when I get back.
Yes, you will.
Yeah.
Yes, you will.
And I'm a little afraid after I hear you say it's going to take 5 or 6 hours that I'm not doing my part with putting everything back up.
It won't. That's like with the loads of laundry. And honestly, it'll probably take me I was going to say 2 days to clean everything up, but then I thought I'd rather put it in hours.
Okay.
And it's probably not that long.
Yeah. What if someone was interested in camping? They're like, I kind of want to camp, but I really don't know what to do. What would you tell them? Do this. So I have people all the time. They're like, what would you tell someone who's interested in working out? I'm like, get some shoes that fit your feet, lace them up, and go for a walk. Mm-hmm. So how would you tell someone to start camping if they wanted to do that?
I would say that you don't have to invest a ton of money. You can find stores like sporting goods stores or recreational stores that will rent equipment, so you can try things out and not feel like you just blew $500 or whatever. Mm-hmm. You can probably also get cheap stuff on Craigslist or Facebook or wherever you buy your used stuff. And then look for a place like this, which is a local like nature preserve park that has camping amenities. But when your firewood is wet, you can drive over to the nature center and buy some dry firewood, so you're not just out in the middle of nowhere kind of stuck. There's a toilet right over there with running water. If we wanted a shower,
wash our hands.
Yeah, we can wash our hands.
Yeah.
So find a place that has amenities, so you can just get used to sleeping outside and being dirty for a couple of days, and it's not that big of a deal.
Just kind of baby step into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so tell everybody what you were saying about REI, because I think that they have a really interesting business model, and it appears that they have very loyal customers. So what are this is not like an REI advertisement, but it seems like a really great place to be able to stock up on gear regardless of your budget, because there are different points of entry. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you were talking about renting.
Yeah. So
and then they have these sales.
So first of all, REI is a co-op, which means that you don't have to be a member to buy stuff there. But if you're a member, you get 10% cash back on all your purchases on full price items. Okay. So if like I buy my running shoes at REI because there's the same price as anywhere else, but then I get 10% back
to use on other gear.
To use at REI.
Okay.
So that's the co-op part. But then to your point about different price points, you can rent, try out new gear, you can rent it. You can buy, they have their branded equipment, REI branded equipment, and clothes are really good quality, and I like a lot of their stuff. But they have pretty much a quality guarantee on anything. Mm-hmm. So, not that I would do this, but some people do. You could wear out your hiking boots. You could get, 500 miles on your hiking boots, and the shoelace break, and you take it back to REI, and you go, oh, my shoelace broke on these $200 boots that I bought 3 years ago, and they'll give you your money back.
That's really incredible.
Yeah.
I think, didn't LL Bean have a similar policy? I think it was LL Bean, something like that, and they would get all kinds of crazy things returned.
Yeah. And then because REI is, it's a outdoor company, so they really like the planet and all those things, they'll take those used boots and they'll resell them to someone who's willing to buy a really old pair of boots with a broken shoelace. Yeah. And so everything doesn't just go in the garbage. Someone will buy those shoes because they'll be for sale for $5, and there might be someone who really could just use a pair of shoes for $5.
And we'll just go buy laces for for $1 or whatever. Yeah. I have been, when did I go to REI? I think I was getting one of my kids ready. Oh, I know. I was getting my youngest son ready for his summer camp V2 when they did like the 60-mile kayaking trip downriver off the grid with the SOS beacon and all of that. And it made me want to start camping and start doing stuff outside. There's some cool stuff there.
Yeah.
There's some really cool stuff there. Okay. Let's see. How do I want to say this? I asked you this question earlier, and you said, I don't know what that means. But then I explained.
Okay.
And so now you kind of know where I'm going with this. But what would you say is the culture of campers and camping?
Well, since you asked me that question the first time, I was thinking about it today as we were out and about mountain biking and hiking and just tooling around. And I think, I noticed, and I hope you noticed, that you were able to see for yourself what the culture's like. So every single person that we passed on foot or on bike said hello. They were smiling. They were happy. The guy over in the campsite over there, he gave us a little wave. It's just we're all here to just relax. And Generally, I would say everyone is really just happy to be outside, and we're really friendly, and, we're not going to go mess with each other's stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, there are probably our serial killers that live in campsites, but I don't think...
But not this one tonight.
Not this one tonight.
Okay. Things you don't say to a camping newbie.
I mean, if you look at, what was his name? The Unabomber. Didn't he live out in the woods for 2 years or whatever?
Yes, but not in this campsite tonight.
No. Right.
No, it is. It is very friendly. You are right. It is very friendly. Let me ask you this. This is probably more of a technical question, because despite the fact that I wrote a book about breaking the rules, I'm such a rule follower. And there seem to be, like, when you're along a trail and you come up on someone, someone typically stops and lets the other person go by.
Yes.
And sometimes we stopped, and sometimes someone stopped for us.
Yes.
So is there like an unwritten rule about who stops and who doesn't?
Yes, and I think it's actually written.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tell me.
So pedestrians yield to bicycles and horses.
Okay.
Bicycles yield to horses.
Okay.
And horses don't have to yield to anyone. So technically, if we're riding and we come upon hikers, we're supposed to yield to I said it wrong before, but basically horses get the right of way, then pedestrians, then cyclists. So if you pass a horse, move out of the way, let the horse go.
Okay.
If you pass a pedestrian, like, cyclists are supposed to pull over and let the pedestrians go. No, I said it wrong again. I'm ruining it. Yes, because here's what, let me just rewind. Okay. Here's what really happens. When you're cruising on your mountain bike and you're flying down a hill and there's two people walking and they see you coming, they're going to get out of your way.
They will naturally.
They will just get out of your way. But the cyclist is supposed to get out of the way of the person. And that's how I know that's right, because I never get out of the way of the person, of the pedestrian. And when I'm walking, I always move off the trail when the cyclist is coming. But that's the opposite of what you're actually supposed to do.
Okay. What if there are two pedestrians or two cyclists? Is it just be kind to each other and figure it out?
No. The rule is you yield to the person or the cyclist that's going uphill. So if you're going downhill, you should step off or get off the trail so the uphill person has the right of way.
Okay.
Because it's hard to get your momentum going again. If you're riding a bike up a hill, it's really hard to stop and then keep going. And even if you're walking, if you've got a good rhythm.
Yeah.
So the downhill person always yields to the uphill person.
Okay. All right. That's good to know.
And then if it's flat, I would say just don't be a jerk.
Just be kind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
And I'm sorry that I screwed up all the ways to explain it, but there's like a triangle, right? And each triangle has a pedestrian, a cyclist, and a horse. And it says yield to, and then it has arrows pointing to who yields to whom. And so right now I just can't visualize it, but I know that.
Well, maybe I'll see if I can find that and put that in the show notes.
Yeah. I know that the cyclist is supposed to yield to the pedestrian and the horse.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about some of the pro tips you've given me.
Oh.
As we've gone along. I can't remember them all. I've been writing them down a little, but I don't remember them all. So I'll see if I can see. One of them was the chapstick. So tell that pro tip.
Wear lip balm with SPF while you're camping, because it will protect your lips from the sunburn. And I almost always get dehydrated when I camp because I just don't slow down to drink enough water. And so then the dehydration plus the sun without SPF, I always get like super duper chapped lips, and then I'll sometimes get a fever blister too.
Yeah.
So if I wear the sunblock, it doesn't do those things.
Well, and that makes a lot of sense. I mean, even this morning, because I forgot sunscreen, and we knew this, and so I said, "Hey, can I borrow some of this?" And that's when you said, "Pro tip: wear sunscreen on your lips or SPF on your lip balm." Oh, here's another pro tip: especially in Phoenix. Wear layers.
Yeah.
I learned that today.
The hard way.
Well, because I have this fantastic gear left over from my Skirt Sports Ambassadors days. And I wore it was Wonder Wool brand, I think is what they called it. Mm. And so it was it's for running in cold weather, but it got pretty warm here. And I wish I would have worn just something different to allow myself to enjoy the warmth better.
It wasn't really warm. It just felt warm because it was a beautiful sunny day and we were working really hard. But I think the high was only 57.
Really?
I think so.
Oh.
That's what the forecast was.
Huh.
Maybe it got up to 62, but
yeah,
I don't think it was. It wasn't warm. It was just not cold.
Yeah. The other thing that I thought was kind of interesting that you taught me is you have to trust your gear. Mm-hmm. So talk about our sleeping bags that you surprisingly have been in your family, your marriage and family for 20 years.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping in a 20-year-old sleeping bag in 37-degree weather, and I was toasty.
Yeah. So my husband and I have a big debate about this.
Well, you're right.
I know I'm right. I'm always right. I believe that you have to let your gear work for you. So with our very nice down sleeping bags that are rated for this temperature, because sleeping bags have different ratings. And so we have sleeping bags that are rated for in the 30s. So we know we can stay warm. And then we use a sleep sack, which is like a jersey cotton, kind of
it's an enormous pillowcase.
Or like a sock, but not tight. Yeah, it's a pillowcase.
Yeah.
So basically you get in that and then get in your sleeping bag. And just that little extra layer, I think, helps the air inside stay warm. But I sleep in as little clothes as possible. I'll just sleep in a t-shirt and my underwear most of the time. No socks. Definitely, I've tested it, and you cannot wear socks. You have to be barefoot, and then put a stocking cap on so the cold doesn't escape your head.
The no socks is really counterintuitive.
I
think I
know.
put my wool socks on and stuck my feet under there, and you said, take your socks off.
How were your toes last night?
They were good. They took a little bit to warm up, and
yeah.
you said that. And then they were fine.
Yeah.
And they were toasty.
And then my husband sleeps in thermal shirt, long tights, wool socks. And he's like, aren't you cold? Don't you get so cold with no clothes on? And I'm like, no, that's how I stay warm. You're over there freezing with all those clothes on, and I'm perfectly comfortable. But he just won't even try it.
I have to imagine, though, you probably need to have a good sleeping bag to be able to do that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, not to knock on Walmart, but if you were to go out to Walmart and get a sleeping bag, that maybe it wouldn't have that technology.
Yeah, I think the technology is really high tech. I think it's feathers.
Okay. Well, maybe they don't have feathers. I don't know.
Maybe they don't have feathers.
Maybe I'm just a brand snob. I don't know. And then I figured out a pro tip.
Oh, yeah.
When you squat and pee,
yes,
you need to face uphill.
Oh, I face downhill.
Or I guess have your feet either facing uphill or downhill.
Yes, not on the side.
Not on the side.
Not 1 foot higher than the other.
Otherwise, your right shoe and your right sock might get wet.
And if you're facing downhill, then you can make sure it's not going to come back and bump into your shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I should start facing downhill.
Yeah.
But I figured that one out really quickly. Speaking of laundry.
Yeah. There was another trust your gear conversation we had today. And it was when we were riding and you said that your quads were sore.
Yeah.
And I said, you're not using your gear appropriately. You need to use your shifters.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fault of mine. Number one, I think I told you, the spokes on my bike that I got within my first 2 years of marriage, so it's more than 20 years old. They are broken. And live in flat Houston, so I really don't have to adjust my gear when I do ride. And I'm just out of riding shape. I haven't been on a bike in years.
You did a great job today. You did really
well. I felt like
well.
I was holding you back.
Not at all. No, I'm not fast.
Well.
No, you did great. Awesome.
Okay.
Did you almost fall at all? I almost fell a couple of times.
There were a few places that were kind of technical.
Yeah.
Like sort of technical.
Yeah.
For the non-technical person.
Yeah.
And I could feel my entire body tense up on that. And I thought, this is probably the exact opposite of what I should be doing. Like, correct. I should probably relax and just ride through it. And then I did run into a bush. So
At least it wasn't a cactus.
It was not a cactus or the cholla.
Mm-hmm.
Tell everybody what the chollas are for those who are not familiar with them.
They're a mean little cactus. They have these, they're probably get to be about 3 feet tall. They're like little cactus shrubs, kind of. And when the tips of them get mature, they come off in sections, so they're really loose. So if you just barely brush up against the cholla, it'll break off and it'll stick to you. And their little spines, they're very painful. I think some cacti must have like poison in the end of them or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, something in the plant that just hurts more than just getting stabbed.
Oh.
And so the cholla are like that. So you'll get stabbed and then you'll pull it out and then it just hurts and hurts and hurts for like an hour.
Well, I'm really glad that I did not run into a cholla.
I am too.
You have warned me about them.
Yeah.
And I think I would have avoided that at all costs because of that. No, it was just one of those funny little bushes.
I think it was creosote.
Maybe so. But no, I did not fall, which was good.
I almost fell a couple of times through the sandy washes. I hate the sand.
I did not like that either.
They're
I'm not
awful.
used to the sand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you spent some time with our mutual friend, like the day before, without me.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to fess up.
Oh.
What did you say to her? I'm just assuming. Like, did you say anything like, Amy's coming and I'm worried about this, or I'm not sure she's going to be able to, like, were you worried about me being tough enough at night? Because I kind of was worried about that.
No, not at all. No, 100% no. I had zero concerns about you on this camp out.
Really?
Yeah. I was mostly worried about, I don't have a huge house and I don't have guest rooms. And the first night that everyone was there, my kids were gone. So everyone had a comfortable place to sleep, even if it was in the bed of a teenage girl.
But at least comfortable bed.
But it was a bed, right? And then I was worried because I know you're allergic to cats, and I have 2 cats. Mm-hmm. And one of my daughter's friends has a cat allergy, and she's always just like so stuffy and snotty when she's at my house. And I felt I was really worried about you feeling well with my cats around, especially knowing that I was going to then kick you out of my daughter's bed and make you sleep on an air mattress.
Well, our friend was really gracious too. And then she and her husband ended up getting a hotel room.
Yeah.
And I got the futon.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah.
It was really nice, actually. What else would you like everybody to know about camping? What would be your final parting thoughts? Because I'm getting hungry, so it's time for us to reheat.
Yes.
We should tell people what we made, from scratch.
It was so good.
We made sweet potato, white bean, and kale soup with diced tomatoes. Mm-hmm. And we did good. And
with a side of a salmon fillet on the grill. Grilled salmon fillet.
Who knew that salmon would be good in that soup? And I don't think that we planned it that way. We're just short on servingware.
I don't have a place to put my salmon. So I'm going to put it in my bowl.
In the soup bowl.
My soup.
It was good, though.
It was really good. Really good. And we have leftovers for tonight, so dinner will be super easy.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, what I want everyone to know about camping is that it's not hard. It just takes a little thought and some physical exertion that you may not be used to. If, there's a lot of lifting and moving stuff around and bending and sleeping on the ground. And it's a lot of work. Like my fingernails are really dirty right now.
Yeah, they're kind of trashed. Mine are.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because as we were loading things up and unloading things up, and some of it's heavy and some of it's awkward, and we're working around your bike rack on the back of your truck, and so kind of ooching in there and pulling things out and ooching out. And I thought, this is like why you're super active and you work out with the trainer and you run, and like this is why we do that, so we can live and we can do things and be functioning well and not tweak our back because we're pulling out a heavy cooler.
Yeah,
stuff like that, like
because it's full of wine.
Well, it had some wine.
Yeah. So I don't know. I love camping. I know some people don't love dirt. A little dirt doesn't bother me. Like, I didn't put deodorant on today. Why? Because why does it matter at this point? I'm so dirty and stinky.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And I'll take a shower tomorrow.
I've actually been, it's so humid where I am. And so everything gets sweaty and stinky. And I do not feel as gross as I thought I would at this point. I'm not to say that I don't feel gross.
Because it's not humid and sticky and sweaty.
I think that's why. I think the lack of humidity really helps.
Yeah.
Kind of dry you or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, people should not start camping, because then they'll always be in the campsite that I want to be in. So,
so don't go to the McDowell Mountain Regional Park.
No, you should. It's a good place.
Well, I want to thank you for taking me, because I think I surprised you. I was like, hey, I'm coming to the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah.
And let's go camping, because you and I had just been talking about it. And I have really, really enjoyed this time with you.
Me too.
So
we should do it again.
It's been fun. We will.
We'll go camp in Texas next time.
I would like to do it in Big Bend.
Yeah.
But that, no joke, is, I think, like 10 hours from where I live.
Can we fly?
No.
Oh.
Like, there's just no easy way to get there.
Yeah.
And maybe I think it's that far. I think we possibly could get into Austin, but it doesn't make sense for me to fly into Austin. Like, you could fly into Austin, and we could ask our friend about that. But that does, I think that's one of the 2 national parks in Texas.
What's the other one?
I don't remember.
Okay, we'll find another place closer to here.
Find another place. Yeah, I'd come back. I'd come back here. This was cool.
Let's do Grand Canyon next.
You're the person I would love to take me. You've done rim to rim.
Twice.
That's impressive. That's super impressive. And then your husband and daughter did it too. 15, 16-year-old when she did it.
16.
It's crazy. All right. Well, thank you, Marni.
You're welcome, Amy.
I got to admit, that was a lot of fun for me to listen to. I didn't really do any editing. I just wanted to make sure everything sounded okay. And I'm sitting here smiling because it was so fun. And she's just such a fun friend. So I hope you enjoyed that too. And I would love to know if you camp, if that's something that you and your family dig doing. And if you have any other pro tips, if you do, head over to the Graced Health Community Facebook page and let us know what your camping pro tips are. And of course, if you have been listening for a while and find value in this show, I would love it and be so appreciative if you would leave a review. You can do this on Apple now. Spotify now also has reviews, but you need to listen to this on Spotify before you can leave a review, because they want real reviews. They don't want fake reviews. But anyway, there is a link to that in the show notes. So go head over there and pick up your copy of Your Worthy Body, by the way, if you have not gotten yours, for an entire mindset shift on your body, your movement, and your eating that will leave you full of balance, freedom, and grace. Okay, that is all for today. Go out there and have a graced day.